Yeah. I've honestly never seen one all the way through, but
They're
whatever.
terrible. They're not great. Welcome to the FNR Podcast. I'm your main host, Kyle, along with my cinema co-hosts, Greg and Dan.
How you doing?
Hello.
Now he's talking about not great movies when he watches Killer Sofa and
Yeah, but they're purposely bad, and there's no.
Not all of them are purposely bad, Kyle.
Yes,
You
they
just
are.
like bad movies.
No, I don't.
You think they're amusing because you think they're better. You're better than them, and that you could do better, but you're too lazy to do anything about it.
yeah, Velocipaster.
So, starting news. We're gonna start with Blue Beetle news. A mixed bag of news for them. They're excited to announce that Blue Beetle has done in 4 days what Shazam did in 4 weeks. 58 million. Yeah, 58 million in
Not
4
bad.
days.
It's not bad for 4 days.
They need another 104 to clear their
How long's it been
cost
out?
on making it.
How long's it been out?
This says 4 days, but I gotta recheck the article.
Well,
When it was
4 days. They'll probably make it then.
let me check when Blue Beetle was released.
They
They're
made,
like
they made 58 mil in 4 days. They need another 100 and what?
104.
More?
August 18th. This
They
so
needed
August
a-
18th.
They needed 104 more.
Yes,
They'll probably get
a
it.
couple weeks ago.
They'll probably get it though.
Well, let's see what the Blue Beetle box office is right now.
Yeah, right.
So, their exact statement was, "We're pleased to announce that it's beaten out Shazam
No.
and Flash." But
The Flash was a dumpster fire.
yeah, he said, but it's not making our projections. So it's like
No crap.
it did better than the other.
I think people were finally getting sick of the superhero movies.
But the thing you got to understand is Blue Beetle's definitely a second-rate character.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh no, I get that. Yeah, right.
That's part of the problem. There's using a bunch of second rate.
Because the thing with Blue Beetle, he's kind of like Green Lantern, but crappy.
He's a crappy Iron Man.
Because Green Lantern, they didn't do Green Lantern right with Ron Reynolds because Ron Reynolds is not good at drama at all. He's terrible at drama
Well, he said that.
because he's good physically and he was good at the jokes part.
Right.
But Green Lantern has to be a sincere hero at some point, and he just can't pull it off.
Well, he said that when he read the script, he said that he wanted to
Be
change,
serious.
He said he wanted to change some of the
Yeah.
script, and the director was like, "No, this is the script. This is how you're reading it."
So they wanted him to play himself as Van Wilder, but as Green Lantern.
Van
Right.
Wilder with powers.
But like Ryan Reynolds said in that movie that he wanted to change stuff.
I'm not.
and the
Look, I'm not.
director-
I never.
direct. Oh no, I agree with you. You think of Ryan Reynolds, you think of comedies, jokes.
I never blame him. I never blame the actor usually for a movie being crappy
Right.
because most of the time the actor does a good job.
Amityville Horror, he was in that, wasn't he? Wasn't
Awesome movie.
He? Yeah, he was great in that.
He's not a horror-
it's probably
he's not a
because
horror- he's
it's
not a
probably
horror
That's
movie
also true, but I agree with what you say, but I think the part of it is they chose the wrong character. Number one,
no, it's not
he
the
should have
wrong.
been Kyle Rayner at best.
No, I don't think it's the wrong character necessarily. Because now that I think about it, the first half of the movie was all him joking around,
Right.
and then like 3/4 of the way they decided to give him a relationship, and then at the end he's super serious. There's too many jokes in it in the first half
Right.
for it to make sense.
Yeah.
Like especially a scene when he's late and he goes, "Let's take off these pants and fly some planes." I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's not.
That just messed up the whole.
That's not like
They
Hal
just
Jordan.
wanted that for the trailer.
Right.
Yeah, that's not Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan be like, hey, doesn't matter if I'm like
He'll
your best
joke
pilot.
and he'll joke in the middle of a firefight, but he's not going to joke
Yeah,
anywhere else.
Constantly. Yeah. Right. I got
And
it.
it's also not jokes of like, let me take off my pants. It's more like I'm better than you. Nice
Yeah.
try kind of jokes, where you have the superior fighter.
Right.
Yeah, that was always his jokes, like just being cocky because he already knew he was better.
Because the dynamic in the Justice League was Hal Jordan was the guy who made jokes about how good he was, but he's not always good.
Yeah.
And then the Flash would make fun of everybody else for being crappy,
Yeah,
and they kind of
they meshed together.
yeah.
Got you.
And the Flash is more self-deprecating and everything else, like the opposite of the Green Lantern. That's
Yeah.
why they were friends.
So
Oh yeah. What was? Did you look it up? What was the box office for Blue Beetle?
It's about what he said.
58 million. Still?
Well, let me look at it. It's
well,
7
people are
days.
not liking it.
7 days ago. Let's see where it's at. 81 5.1.
So it made 30 more million, and then
Still got 70 more to go.
it might squeak by and make it.
Yeah, but with what you're saying about people getting sick of hearing superhero movies, I think you are pseudo right. Like, some people are getting sick of superhero movies in general.
I mean, there's one released every month.
Yes, but I think it's more people are getting sick of superheroes they don't know nothing about or can't. They're just coming out with, like, really...
I mean, everyone knew the Flash. They even threw Michael Keaton back as Batman to try to get the old
This wasn't just the Flash, though. That's the problem. The Flash was trying to skip a lot of his storyline and go right to the Flashpoint Paradox kind of thing. They didn't give him an introduction movie where he got his powers and they went up from there and then went to Flashpoint Paradox.
Because
they go, hey, let's introduce him in the Justice League movie where Batman throws a Batarang at him. Oh, you can find out he moves fast. Then they go right to, he's going to start reversing time with his speed.
All right, what was the last...
Because the Flash...
What was the last superhero movie that did good? That, like, crushed it? I would have to say it's...
The Batman probably made movie.
Infinity. I'd have to say it's the Avengers...
Didn't the Batman make its movie money?
The last Avengers movie.
The Batman did well.
Because it's Batman. Batman always does
Then that movie was...
Not great.
Yeah. Avengers Endgame...
Avengers Endgame was probably the last big...
When did that come out?
2019, maybe.
Yeah. Superhero movies...
What did the second Black Panther movie do? I don't remember.
It didn't do. It did really good at first.
Black Panther did really well.
It did really good at first, and then it dropped. It like hit a cliff. It did really really good, and then all of a sudden it just went.
Because everyone started streaming it.
I essentially agree with Kyle that the Flash is one of those characters that people know who he is, but they don't know his story that well. So the whole thing about his mother getting murdered.
I mean, Justice League did bad, right?
Yeah, it didn't do great.
with all of them. But
the problem is, Warner Brothers and them do not handle live action DC well. They don't handle universes well. They handle individual properties very well, aka the Batman. They've always handled that well. They've handled Superman by himself mostly well.
I mean, I'm just saying, the latest superhero movies we've talked about have all tanked.
Let's see. All right, so here we are. That's 17.
Other than Black Panther. Black Panther was the outlier.
Spider-Man Far From Home was actually a really good
success. Everyone loves Tom Holland.
Yeah. Black Widow.
And Zendaya.
Black Widow was medium.
Yeah, right.
Shang-Chi everyone loved for some reason. Like, it's just...
How'd it do in
box office?
Box office.
Couldn't tell you, but it was
like everyone you talked to could have loved the movie, but how'd it do in the box office?
I know it did well because they wanted to go with another couple more of those, but the guy's like, leave it, leave it go.
There's nothing to do with that anyway.
Eternals was a flop.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home
was good.
Was a success.
Because it's Spider-Man for one thing.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse was...
So I think there's a few that no matter what are going to get. I think Batman's always going to get...
It's all based on...
Batman is always going to get big numbers, no matter what. Because it was a crappy movie and it still got big numbers.
Yes.
Spider-Man's always going to get big numbers. Superman might...
Look, right. To me, it's more like... Most of the DC stuff, except for Batman, is not going to do well live action. And most of the main Marvel stuff will do fine. Because the characters are well developed and they don't have to really do a lot with it.
Right.
Whereas if you add like She-Hulk, She-Hulk's not really fleshed out all that well. In the
the show was alright though.
It was okay, but I'm just saying that, like Blue Beetle, nobody knows who that is.
I didn't know who the hell it was until we were in there. We were watching a movie and it was a preview.
A preview, yeah.
I know who it is because I read comics.
Well, I'm also not the superhero person either in this group.
But even if you're not superheroes, you recognize Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man.
But I don't want to go watch those movies though.
Exactly.
The only reason I went to watch the Batman was because I want to see how Patterson did his fucking...
And it was worth it.
Yeah, it was horrible. An emo Batman.
He wasn't even the worst part of the movie, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, Zodiac Riddler.
Yeah, the Zodiac Riddler. How many times has the Riddler actually murdered somebody? Like twice in the comic books the whole time?
Yeah.
Twice.
And even when he does kill multiple
people. And most of the only people he's ever murdered have been like corporate CEOs.
That did him dirty.
Right.
There's always someone who did him dirty. He's never just killed random people.
Right.
Spider-Man No Way Home was a success. Thor Love and Thunder was It was bad, but it was successful.
It did okay, right?
Yeah, it did good because so many women wanted to see the scene with him.
You see, he came out and said he doesn't want to do another Thor unless they do a serious movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Look, to me, the first movie's the only good one.
The first Thor movie?
Because it's the only one that has a traditional structure, and Thor is actually acting like a serious character.
The second
one was shit because the Dark Elves and all that crap.
It was not shit. I'm not gonna say it's shit.
It's not as bad. Well, Thor Ragnarok's obviously shit.
Yes.
Thor.
It was a fucking comedy with Thor in it.
The second one's where Odin dies, right?
The third one is when he dies.
Yeah, third one's when he dies.
Which one's the one where his sister comes back to try to take him?
That's third.
Ragnarok.
Look, don't get me wrong. I like the actors. Like I said, I always blame the director and the producers.
Well, sometimes it's actors too.
Well, in Thor Ragnarok, there was no actor in it that was bad.
Right.
There wasn't.
It was just the way they. It was just the way they.
It was too jokey. It was entertaining, granted, but Thor's not like that.
Yeah. No. Not even remotely.
He's not some jokester.
Right.
He's like, just think of him in Avengers, the first Avengers movie, where he's like, "Come on, you're ready for another bout," all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where he's basically like a more overtly manly Captain America.
Yeah.
Who can throw trucks.
Think of it as a medieval cosplayer with lightning powers.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Verily, sir, I shall strike thy.
I understand they couldn't do it like he did in the comic books where he talks like a Shakespearean actor. I get it.
All the time.
Right. With virally and come at thee and all that stuff, but you know.
No, the third, but Love and Thunder was just a way for them to play on the dad angle and have him have a naked scene for no reason.
And have Fat Zeus. Anyway.
Yes. Oh my God, I love Fat Zeus.
And super hairy Hercules.
Russell Crowe is Fat Zeus.
Super hairy Hercules with the one guy from Ted Lasso in it.
Yep.
I heard that show's pretty good. I never watched it.
It is good.
Yeah,
Ted Lasso is good.
I've never watched it.
It's hilarious.
I heard that it's pretty good.
After that, we had Wakanda Forever.
Oh gosh.
Which did awesome. But everyone loved Chadwick Boseman though.
Yeah.
So that was going to do well whether unfortunately he passed away. It was going to do well whether he was still
Black Panther
or not.
I feel like it was going to, like you said, it was going to do well no matter what. No matter what. It could have been a steaming pile, but because it was Black Panther, it was going to do well.
Because to be honest, the first Black Panther was Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan were the ones who made that movie good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, his sister is annoying. She's like a know-it-all super genius, which is annoying. And then, what's her name? His mother was fine.
She was awesome in the second one.
She's good. She's always a good actress.
She's amazing.
The lady who played the captain of the guard was kind of annoying too.
She looked hot as hell in the second one.
The bald one, is that what you're talking about?
She just doesn't have any character fluctuation. She's just
the serious,
super serious. I'm gonna kick, and it doesn't make any sense because she's like half the size of every guy she kicks.
Yeah, and she pseudo jokes around because she knows she's a badass, and even then when she jokes around, it's very seldom.
Right. So there was like a lot less charisma in the second movie. This is the way it is.
So the Black Panther was always going to do good.
Yeah, there was nothing. Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumanium crashed, terrible. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did well.
Yeah, I liked it.
There was no way it wasn't. The Marvels, which is coming up here soon, is going to do terribly. Deadpool 3, which is going to be
Deadpool 3 is going to kill it, I think. I'm going to go watch it. I love Deadpool.
I'm going to watch it, but it's going
to You're always pessimistic about these things.
It's going to be... Come on.
He was pessimistic about the first one, too, and it destroyed the box.
I knew it was going to destroy because I saw the leaked footage that Ryan Reynolds did off the cuff of that one the director, the first one.
Yeah, but I always get weird because it's Marvel tries to...
You're just... Shit. Number one, that wasn't Marvel the first time.
The only thing I'm nervous about with the Deadpool 3 is it's Disney.
Yeah, Disney's running.
That's the only thing I'm worried about right now.
Yeah.
Because you know how they try to PG-13 everything now.
They're not.
They say it's going to be rated R, but I feel like they're not going to let it go as far as Fox did.
I think they're going to let it go because number one, they made a ton of money from the first two, so what's the point of not doing it?
Yeah.
And plus, it has no relation to any of the other movies.
Apparently, we're getting another Captain America movie.
Because Deadpool, they can just because he breaks the fourth wall all the time. It doesn't have to be in continuity at all. You know, they can just do whatever they want. Because the reason why he wanted Wolverine is because he kept joking about they only could afford 2 X-Men and all that stuff. In the second one. Well, the first one, actually.
Right.
You can only afford 2 X-Men.
Yeah. Yep. In this big house.
And then in the second one, in the second one, he goes, "I wonder where everybody is." And they
show the digital copies of everybody shutting the door on him, so they're not seeing. It was funny.
That's what I mean. Like Deadpool is always the first 2 are great, so I'm excited to see the third one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the last one. Ryan Reynolds says he can't stand dealing with Disney. Says he's done. This is the last one.
Yeah. Well, plus the deal, it's gonna be the only movie with Hugh Jackman in the yellow Wolverine costume.
I saw.
It's gonna be funny.
They also apparently announced a Captain America movie in 2024.
I kind of seen him talk about it. It's
Brave New World.
It's gonna be what's his name playing Captain America?
The black guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be horrible. I like him as an actor, but as Captain America, no.
He needs to stay just being the Falcon and.
Because even in the comic books, he was terrible as Captain America.
Yeah, he was.
Because all he did was he carried around a shield. He went to a battle. He threw it once. He lost it because he's not as good as Captain America. Then goes flying around like the Falcon. So what's the point?
He's pretty much the Falcon.
He's pretty much the Falcon, but
with Falcon who can throw a shield one time.
And he has Captain America's symbol in his chest, and that's it. That's the only difference.
Now, I'd like it if they left it up to Bucky. Bucky was decent when he was Captain America for a while.
Well, because that's the way they did in the comic books. It was Captain America. He got killed. Bucky decided to do it again. He wasn't as strong as Cap, so he had to use the cyber arm to do it right.
Yeah,
because he's stronger, but he's not nearly as strong, right?
Right. Yeah.
So he needs the cyber arm to throw it.
To make it ricochet back.
Right, to make it work right. And that was fine.
Yeah. So that's what we got. Is I'm in pseudo agreement with Greg. Is people are getting tired of the superhero movies, and they're pumping them out so fast, and they're starting to use not even B-list tier superheroes. They're going C's, trying to push some D-list heroes, and it's you need to take a step back. Why don't you finish some of the A-list heroes? Why don't we get some more X-Men in? You know.
I mean, they did the X-Men.
Yeah, but they don't have them introduced into the Marvel Universe.
No. Well, apparently that's what Deadpool's going to do. They're going to introduce a few of them.
Yeah. But technically, Deadpool's not in the universe either.
Well, this is where they're introducing him to the universe.
Oh, God.
This third one is going to be...
Deadpool can do whatever.
This third one is going to be Deadpool's introduction to the MCU.
He doesn't make sense in the MCU as currently constructed.
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff he does is like it's really bloody.
Yeah, right.
Or he's a zombie head.
I want to see him... I don't want to see him going to the MCU.
No, neither do I.
Because my favorite version of Deadpool is the one where he's from the zombie universe, but he's only a head.
So I'm not the superhero. We've said this plenty of times. I'm not the superhero person in this group, but I like the Deadpool movies because they're almost anti-MCU.
They're everything that MCU doesn't stand for.
Right, correct. It's cursing, it's bloody, it's killing, like it's totally.
It's basically what the Punisher should have been.
Right. So
it's the Punisher movies.
That's why I like the Deadpool.
The John Bernthal Punisher was good.
So that's why I like those movies more than I do the MCU.
So I think that's part of the problem. Like you said, it's overabundance and nonstop. The other part is, like I said, they're using C and D list heroes that nobody knows nothing about, and they're just shoehorning them in there and giving them their own movies. Listen, no one likes Brie Larson ever, and they're trying to give her another movie or show or whatever they're doing with the Marvels.
Well, I thought you were right with her now since she came back and.
She's still a shitty person, but she's become self-aware. I never said she was a good actress. I just said she's become less of a shitty person.
Number one, the Captain Marvel movie is bad because they had all these movies they did, then all of a sudden they just flipped it around and shoved this super powerful person into the freaking narrative for no reason.
That no one ever seen.
And she was a prequel, so all the things that Thor and Captain America did meant nothing because he had this freaking ace in the hole in the outer part of the universe or whatever.
Yeah, that he could just press the button and all the Avenger movies could have been handled in 10 minutes.
So why is she not around? it makes you question the entire Avengers storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
But no, I like Brie Larson better now because she's like, listen, I was being an asshole, and you know what? For people not liking me for being an asshole, I get it, and I'm going to work on it. Doesn't make her a good actress, makes her self-aware. I don't think she plays Captain Marvel good.
I think the problem with the Marvels thing is probably going to be, what's her name, Ms. Marvel?
No, because I think she's way better than Brie.
No, I'm talking about the character design entirely.
Oh yeah, the character design's terrible, but
energy fists, really?
Yeah, instead of being stretchy, yeah, I know.
I know they want to do cheapness instead of. I know it's harder to do freaking animated skin. I get it. Whatever.
So, and I don't know. I'm against that. The Saw 10. When the director says, "Hey, I'm not doing anything new with this," that is a clear sign. But that's also like he's doing the exact opposite of the Fast and Furious director. Because the Fast and Furious director's like, I can't wait. I'm gonna bring in some all these explosions and stunts and blah blah blah, Michael Bay.
You mean the same thing that they've always been doing?
Yes. Where he's like, I'm gonna try doing it even more. Where this guy's like, listen, this movie's franchise is successful. All of the movies have been successful. No matter how bad they were, they made their money back.
I can't stand the Souls. Can't stand them. First one was alright. Second one was okay, and then after that.
And then the 10th one is apparently another in-between prequel. So it takes place between the first and second one, like a couple of the other ones did.
I'm so sick of like these like Fast X 10. They're so ridiculous. They're like they come up with such ridiculous things, and they're like, yeah, the public will eat it right up. Like, yeah, we're gonna build a car and fly it into space.
Look,
like what?
You do understand the target audience is like, I don't know, Mountain Dew drinkers and stuff. The trailer parks. That's what I'm thinking. That's my guess.
NASCAR drivers are Final Tune athletes.
I feel like it was like
and the opposite number on the so-called urban scene. Because if you notice, half the people in there are black. The Human Peanut. He's in there a lot.
Is it Ludacris?
Ludacris.
The Human Peanut.
Yeah, people say his head looks like a peanut.
It's from a Family Guy thing where Stewie's talking about, it's like what's his name? What's the other guy's name?
Tyrese.
He goes, Tyrese, a Chinese black.
That's
what he said. He goes, Chinese. He goes like, it's if like Africa and Europe was having sex and Asia was just sitting in the corner watching.
Good old Family Guy.
I feel
I had the opposite way. Africa and Asia were having sex and Europe was in the corner watching. Then Ludacris, the Human Peanut, Tyrese, the Chinese black. That's what he said.
I feel like the Fast and Furious directors are like us three sitting here, and they're like, well, you know what? What can we do now?
Unless Michael Bay's their hero.
We're going to fly this into the middle of the sun and make it heat protective. We're going to put aluminum foil around the whole car.
Strictly aluminum foil.
It's just going to deflect the heat. They can come back out of the sun. I feel like that's what they do anymore. Yeah. I literally feel like that's what they do.
They've given up because they keep coming up with these stupid ideas, and for some reason they do.
The last even halfway decent movie was the last one Paul Walker did.
The third one.
No, he was on 5.
Was he in 5?
Yeah. Because the last one I saw, they were jumping through skyscrapers in fucking Doha or Dubai or something.
Do you remember the episode of Family Guy where Stephen King's in the office with the guy?
Yeah.
And he's like, give me another. He's like, I need another book or a movie from you. And he's like, how about a monster lamp? And he grabs his lamp on the table. His agent's like, you're not even trying anymore, are you? And he's like, I feel like that's what they're doing right now with the Fast and Furious.
And these guys are probably like, there's no way we cannot be successful. We can come up with any stupid idea as long as we add The Rock, Vin Diesel, and Explosion.
Oh, Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason Statham, Jason Momoa now, and a bunch of random other people that were popular. He goes, as long as we keep
a Japanese guy.
It's pretty much
there's a Japanese guy in it too.
It's the Expendables of the car world.
Yeah,
or the Expendables is the Fast and Furious of the action world. Whatever.
Right. Either way. Yeah. Right. Either way. Yeah. It's the same.
Because the Expendables, all the people from the 80s to like early 2000s. the Fast and Furious movies are all the people that were popular in 2000 till about 2015.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Expendables of the car world.
Yeah,
other than Vin Diesel, who's just along for the ride, as far as I can tell. Why is he in it? Because he has to be. Why is he in it? Because he has to be. He doesn't even move his face anymore when he talks.
I don't think he cares anymore.
I know. Because that's the only thing I can say. That's the only good thing I can say about The Rock is that he always tries.
I guess he wanted. I guess he wanted to do 10 because when him and Paul Walker first signed on to do their whole.
Yeah.
Once they became big and stuff together, they wanted to do 10 movies together. So that was the whole reason they wanted to do 10 Fast and Furious.
Yeah, and somehow they convinced The Rock to get back on.
Although The Rock, to be fair with The Rock,
Vin Diesel and The Rock had a big beef there for a while.
Yeah, they don't like each other since moving. Like whenever they introduced Rock's character, they do not like.
I guess they squashed their issues though, according to them.
It's because The Rock is a better everything than Vin Diesel. That's why he's jealous, probably.
I liked Vin
Diesel. Now, granted, The Rock's probably on steroids, but whatever.
I liked Vin Diesel when he was younger, when he was in like Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, when he was trying harder. Now, granted, he still had like, I don't know, a natural paralysis of the face, but
his character was a stoic serial
killer. Right.
So like
the only part of his face that moved is sometimes he smirked.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like in the second, what's the Riddick was the Chronicles of Riddick the one when he went into prison?
Yes.
So he smirked once in that part of the movie.
And then you had Pitch Black, where he was a prisoner being taken to.
Yeah, Pitch Black was the first movie where they introduced Riddick at all.
He also smirked at least twice in that movie.
They had Chronicles of Riddick. Then they had Riddick, which was a remake of Pitch Black, more or less, except for instead of it being.
Oh, by the way, they're doing another Riddick.
Oh my God. Let it die. Let it die.
And the Riddick movies are always about bounty hunters trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets lost on a.
Well, he's the most wanted person in the universe, right? In that way, that's what he's like.
But here's what cracks me up: is the Riddick movie. Instead of getting on a planet where the aliens thrive in darkness, it was the aliens thrive in water this time. They can't come out because they don't like dryness.
Did they ever explain his eyes? I know he lies about it a few times.
No, he says he has them surgically done. He had them surgically done to be able to see in the dark.
Yeah, he said that when he was in prison. He found
That's the actual.
Is that the actual real?
Yeah, that's the actual.
I thought it was always him lying or whatever.
Just trying to mess.
Because when he finds Kira in the prison, she's like, "Yeah, it's all bullshit. I can't find nobody to do it."
Yeah, she can't find anyone. It doesn't. But that's actually the thing.
Okay.
She just can't find another doctor.
I just know in Riddick when he goes and gets her out of the prison, she's like, "Yeah, hey, it's all bullshit. You lied."
Didn't they mention at some point that there's like a high chance you might die from it or some shit?
Yeah. Something like that.
I'm not sure which movie it was. It wasn't the first. Wasn't the Place Black, right?
No.
Pitch Black is where he tells her.
Well, that was
like, how do I get eyes like that? And he said, well, you gotta kill a bunch of people, and then get sent to the hardest prison in the universe, and then.
Oh, so you just can't get to the prison where the guy can do it. Okay, that's weird. Okay.
You have to be.
That's what I mean. I never knew that was the actual story.
That is the actual story. Right. But she got the.
Because he's like the last of his race, right?
Yeah, he's the last Furian.
Right.
That's weird. You know what he is?
He's exactly humans in every
way. He's like a combination of
I didn't know if it was
he's like a criminal version of Judge Dredd, but he's also like Lobo for some reason.
So I didn't know if it was like because he that's actually what his race's eyes are like.
No, they're normal. The Furians are just like normal humans.
All right.
But just slightly.
Oh, that's what
they're slightly stronger and really stealthy for no reason.
By the way, that's what the movie's going to be. Riddick Furia. He goes, yeah.
Because those necromongers were like scared of the Furians.
Yeah, the leader had a prophecy that he'd be killed by Furians, so he went and killed all the Furian boys.
So instead of just having everybody,
he somehow got slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, but instead of having them like gang rush him and just murder him, he decides to duel him at the end. That makes sense. Anyway, I understand it's movies, but still.
Yeah. I will honestly say.
They're entertaining.
Chronicle of Riddick wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't like it.
Surprisingly, is that the one with Judi Dench in it for some reason?
Yes.
What are we talking about? What did I miss?
Chronicles of Riddick. I didn't think Chronicles.
Somehow it had Judi Dench in it. I don't know how.
As an air elemental.
And she just stood around.
Yeah, just being the wisdom person.
She's like, I'm Judi Dench. I need to make some money, so I'm gonna move my lips and speak a little bit.
It's gonna be Riddick 4 Furia.
Yeah.
Oh, they need to let it die.
I wish.
So,
actually, the best acting job Vin Diesel ever did was Saving Private Ryan.
He died.
No, he actually emoted a little bit in that movie. He does die in it, but he actually tries to do emotions.
Yeah.
You know?
That has a lot of big name actors in it, actually.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it because he died. I mentioned it because he actually acted like he had emotions other than I'm stoic, I'm stern, I'm angry, I'm slightly amused in a smirking sort of way.
I'm Riddick.
So there are 3 basic emotions that he has, and none of them are just happy. He's not happy about nothing.
Oh my god.
He's like, I'm making money somehow doing this, and these guys are suckers.
Alright. So let's go on to stuff we watched. Let's start out.
We only got 2 things. Which one do you want to do?
We'll go. Me and Greg will talk about what we do in the shadows real quick.
And simultaneously, I'll talk about...
What's her name?
What's up?
Ahsoka.
So
Osaka's a city in Japan.
Yeah, right. So we watched another episode of
What We Do in the
Shadows. Where Laszlo gets into a weird like depression kind of thing, and they don't know what's going on with him, so they decide to throw him a roast to make him feel better. During this time, the chick who just joined the group, and the Baron's back up to full, like, not a crispy charred,
right,
half a torso, and she lets it slip that Guillermo is not only
a Van Helsing,
but he was the one who burnt him up in the first place. So the Baron and Guillermo have a fight.
No, they don't. They don't fight.
They do. He's like, he goes to throw stuff at him, but like, he's not trying to kill him, but he's just trying to like hold him off enough to not kill him. And then he tries to run, and the Baron's just way more powerful in a straight-up fight than he ever expected. So then they get to the point where Guillermo's hiding, and he goes, I'm telling you, Guillermo's in the shed whacking it. So he goes and finds the body of... He brings his body and throws it down and says it's Guillermo. And Laszlo's like, that's not him. And then he cuts him open.
He starts gutting him in front of everybody, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, stop!"
He pulls out like gills and stuff, and you find out it's the one of the animals that were becoming a clone of Guillermo. The fish one.
The fish one.
And it was pregnant with half frog babies.
Yeah, it was like 24 of them.
Why are they frog babies?
Because the fish and the
frogs were having sex. And
how is that possible?
I don't know.
They're half-cloned vampire fish.
Yeah, right. Like, what are we talking about here? We've passed the realm.
I didn't hear the half-vampire part.
We talked about it last time when Laszlo was experimenting with the blood and the frogs and animals and stuff.
I probably zoned out after
We missed those couples. We didn't talk about those couples episodes. They were 2 weeks ago when I usually do the gaming side of things. So he went.
Oh, yeah.
Laszlo was experimenting with his blood. Remember we said there was frogs with, like, hair? Well, the next episode, there's a bunch of half-bred like animals that look like Guillermo. It's like a dog with an afro and his glasses, and they can talk. And
oh yeah,
so Guillermo's God.
Okay.
So Laszlo calls Guillermo into his room, and he's like, "Hey, I have a problem." And he's like, "What?" And he goes, "I can't." He's like, "I can't fix you." He goes, "But I've been trying to run experiments." And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, okay. "And you need to get rid of them." And so he brings him into the room, and it's like. Dogs, sheep, they all look just like dogs, like a dog version of Laszlo. Guillermo. And he's like, you need to take care of him. He goes, what do you mean take care of him? He goes, get rid of him. And he hands him a 6-shooter. He walks out and he's like, aren't you going to do it? He goes, nah, these are yours. He goes, you got to do it. He walks out.
He's like, I can't bear the shame of knowing I'm a failure. And walks away. So, yeah.
So then you find out Guillermo obviously isn't going to kill him. And he finds a way to save him. And
he puts them in old folks' home full of people with dementia and stuff. So
they're like what are the therapy animals? Yeah. So he puts them in an old folks' home where they can
So then
well, you find
the freaking Wouldn't the
orderlies and shit?
orderlies figure it out?
They didn't say nothing.
I ain't saying anything.
So
were they all freaking drones or something? All the orderlies, like vampire?
No, they're just
they're like normal
old people.
Normal old people.
No, I'm talking about the orderlies.
Yeah, they're just normal people.
So they don't notice the weird half dog fish
Nope, apparently
frog
not.
things
Nope.
They just don't care.
with
They're
human
just-
faces and glasses.
They're just happy to have company, I guess, is what it is.
The old people have company.
Well, anyways, during this, he finds a fish that's a clone of him. Obviously, he can't take the fish anywhere, so he leaves it in the pond.
Oh boy!
And that's where it turned into a full Guillermo that has gills.
I have to go to the bathroom.
I'd leave your mic behind so we don't have to listen to you pee. I don't feel like editing that out.
Yeah, I should go like this. Like this.
He'd be like, you know what?
Then we hear a splash
I was
and you
gonna
drop the mic in there and I kill you.
I like 1 second. I thought I had to take a number 2.
Here. So, yeah. This season's really good. We talked about
This is a great season. It's an awesome season.
Well, how many more episodes we have left for the season?
I think 2 more. 2 more episodes this season.
All right. I started watching the new season of Archer. They have 2 episodes out of the new / final season of Archer.
And
It's decent. It's actually decent. They go with Lana. You know how she always has these idealistic views,
yeah,
and then being around Archer and them, they get corrupted because Archer and them are realistic about things.
right.
So she starts wanting to have the company be open transparency. She doesn't want secrets between the upper management and the employees. So that's like her whole platform.
Right.
Well, within 5 minutes of her saying that and wanting that, a body falls out of the wall because they're trying to renovate Mallory's office, and like a corpse falls out of the wall. And some of the employees are like, "What is this corpse?" And everyone's freaking out and, you know, trying to be uppity about it, you know, disgruntled workers. And Lana's trying to find a way to, you know, nice her way through this and get everybody on board. And then, like, halfway through the episode, the first episode, she finally goes, "Look, I don't care if you have a problem that there's a body in the wall. There's gonna be secrets. You work for a spy agency, and you also own a non-disclosure thing. And if you have a problem, there might be some more bodies ended up in this elevator shaft because they're throwing the bodies like they do everything down the elevator shaft."
Yeah.
She goes, "So, you can either keep your lips shut and get back to work and enjoy your 5% raise, or there are going to be some more bodies in the elevator." And everyone's like, "Okay." And then Cheryl brings her a martini and she starts drinking and she goes, "Oh my God, I'm becoming Mallory." Because she realized how Mallory ran things was the right way.
Right.
Like, yes, it's mean and screwed up, but it was always the right way.
Right.
So, and then when they have Archer go on this mission, there's this new girl called Zara. Or Zana. And
Or Zora or Zira. Which one?
something like
Zorro.
that.
Zorro.
But she's literally a younger version of Archer and Lana mixed, like all the professionalism and ability to, you know, come up with plans and stuff like Lana has.
But all the smart aleck comments. And,
Yeah, all the rogue
and-
crap that Archer does.
and crazy desires.
Yeah. She's exactly like that, and Archer's like, "She's gonna betray us," and she's on. And then he's like, Archer's like, "I'll show you who the loose cannon is in this operation," and they're just going against each other. And then she goes like midway, she goes, "Let's have a contest to see the more rogue cannon, and first one to do this." And then like at the very end of it, he goes, "See, I told you I'm more of the rogue than you are." She goes, "No, you're not, because I led you right into that. I told you let's have a competition. You followed me the whole way through this competition. We got the mission done." So she goes, "Yeah, so much for you being the rogue," because she goes, "I had you wrapped around my finger." So then the second episode goes into more of them just competing with each other. And it's a 2-parter. And at the very end, Lana obviously hires her.
Right.
So she's the new agent. She's the new Lana.
Agent in command.
Yeah, she's the new Lana.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting. It wasn't bad. It's a lot of poking fun at Archer. Needs to accept that, you know, there's gonna be a new generation of spies. He can't be the number one forever.
Right.
And so far, I'm okay with it. It was decent. It wasn't anything like. It wasn't as impactful and as funny as the first couple of seasons so far, but
None of them have been.
yeah. But it's good. It's getting back to some of its.
After season 6, it was weird.
The Coma ones, yeah.
And then when it came back, it was okay because I liked when Cyril was ripped.
Yeah.
And awesome.
Oh, he's back to being ripped again. But he's.
And I like Conway Stern when he got his left foot cut off.
I have a feeling we're gonna see him. The next episode they said it's gonna be a Barry episode. So
is he a cyborg still?
I always did like when fucking Lana in the first few seasons. He was like, she rips that guy's hand off.
Yeah.
He's like, what is wrong with you?
How are your hands so strong?
She's trying to go off in a helicopter and she's holding it down.
Yeah, with a helicopter and a suitcase with a harpoon gun in it, and she's holding it all still with her bare hands.
And he's like, how are you so strong?
You haven't seen the last of Conway Stern, which is not my real name. And then the next one is after he gets his robot hand.
And she rips off the other hand.
Yeah, she slams it in the door because he makes fun
It
of
was
her.
a window.
Yeah, it was a giant pane window because he said something about her losing the baby weight, and she got mad and slammed it on his hand and cut it off.
And he goes, "This is not the last you've heard of Conway Stern, which is my real name.
Which is my actual real name."
So stupid.
Conway Stern.
I like the first few seasons, and then they get dumb.
But then they start upticking with the whole when they come back out of the Akoma series, and they're decent. They're not.
I watched a few episodes of that where Lana's with the billionaire.
Yeah, and there's some dead episodes in that one. There is, but just like,
Well, I like Lana with the billionaire. That's funny to me because like it's obvious that she's not compatible with this guy, but she's trying real hard because she doesn't want to be with Archer anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
So what happens? They're still broken up, right? They got the kid.
Yeah. They're doing like a co-parenting thing, kinda.
Right.
But Lana's mainly in charge. And near the end of the season before they lead into the newest one, Archer points out that she's exactly like Mallory. Because Lana was sending her to all these private schools out in the middle of nowhere while she was still doing spycraft.
Right.
And sending her to camps and stuff.
Well, plus Mallory was telling her a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they talked all the time.
Yeah.
So like there's one
Archer.
There's one where they're like Pam was trying to get her to call her Aunt Pammy and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, I forget what the thing was. It was at the
right to bear arms.
Yeah. And she was like,
she was talking about because she's like, you know, gun training. She goes, yeah, grandmother Arthur taught me how to use firearms. She goes, and then she said something about. She also said about the French giving up their right to bear arms and all this other crap. You know, Mallory's crazy, idealistic, imperial crap.
Right.
So it was really good. And then you just like that whole episode, they kept talking about how Lana keeps sending her to like lacrosse camp, judo camp, computer camp, and I was like, huh, who does that sound like?
And so Archer brought it up.
Yep, and Lana got super pissed, but was also like oh my god, I am.
Right.
So it's good so far. I feel like they're gonna end this season with Archer and Lana coming together.
Back together. I always liked their dynamic together in the first few seasons.
Yeah.
I have to go back and rewatch it. I mean, like I said, I just
skip the coma. Just skip the coma shit. That's all you gotta do. Just go.
So like 3 seasons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. 6, 7, and 8.
The first coma season wasn't horrible.
No.
That was the one where he's like he's a detective. Yeah, that wasn't bad. The one where the outer space one was just
terrible.
Horrible. I watched like 3 episodes and I was like, I can't.
Well, I
can't watch this.
I only saw a little bit of it. It looked like they were just rehashing old jokes.
They were.
Yeah, it was.
But in space.
It was very poorly done. So I watched that. So let's get on to Ahsoka.
We watched the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
How far along are you?
I got through 3.
Yeah, he's only one ahead of us.
So we're only one behind you? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
There's only 3 out.
Oh, okay.
So, what did you think, Greg?
I mean, I thought it was all right. I mean, some of the stuff that happens don't make sense, but I mean, just because, obviously it was very obvious that you told the girl not to leave your ship with the star map, and then you leave her alone, even though you know that she wants to leave and doesn't like you. Obviously, she's not going to be there when you come back. I mean, it was like the most obvious setup in the world. Like, it's just, there's just things that, it's too obvious. You know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes when it's too obvious like that, it's like.
Yeah, so.
It's part of the problem is that it's kind of like this problem I have with, what's the second movie in the trilogy, the new crappy one?
Oh,
with the freaking,
Last Jedi?
the bombing run that somehow had gravity, even though it's middle of space, all that stuff.
I think it's The Last Jedi?
No, the Last Jedi. Anyway.
It's
the beginning.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens is the first one.
Last Jedi, yeah.
Last Jedi.
The one where the Empire forgets.
Skywalker or something.
Yeah.
Skywalker. Last of the Skywalker.
Return of the Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of the Skywalker.
Anyway, basically, it seems like the Empire forgets what kind of tricks the rebels or Republic do. So in the beginning of that movie, when they had the single ship by itself, they should have blown them away.
Right.
So they're not evil. They're just going to let them talk to them for 5 minutes. And then there's the other side, which is this one where the Republic acts like they don't know that evil people exist.
Right.
They're like, because like in the second one, they find out that the
all
Imperial
the workers in that dock are old Imperial workers.
Yeah, old Imperial workers. They're acting like, oh, none of them, they're all vetted. They gave us their oath. I'm like, really? Should be security guys constantly at that facility.
Right. Yeah, they like money more than the loyalty of the Empire.
Yeah.
The recently fallen government.
Like the biggest setup in the world for that.
Yeah, right.
That's what I mean. Like,
I was trying to support your point, basically.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's so obvious on some things. It's just like.
Yeah. So.
Like you said, the girl's like, I'm going to go by myself to try to decipher this map out of town.
Yeah.
Couldn't you have done it in town with all the freaking soldiers?
Right.
Or just sat there and done it.
That's what I'm saying. You could have did it in town, right there.
Yeah.
He goes, what about all my equipment? You mean there's not computers in the city?
I mean, the biggest...
Nowhere.
Listen,
and I know for certain that in the Star Wars universe, they have a computer network. So that is bullshit.
So, listen, I'm going to use this word because I love it. This is the perfect time for this. She needed her safe space.
Oh my!
She went to her safe space.
You know what she should have went. You know what would have been made it even safer? About a battalion of troops. Because if this map's so important and Thrawn is such a pain in the butt, why don't they have 30 or 100 guys just standing around?
Or how about she just stays with the
I understand
the Jedi that
obviously
because it's not her safe space.
Because she makes me feel bad because I can't be a real Jedi because I'm not good at it.
Right.
That's why. I'm like, I know.
And
then she decides to lightsaber duel somebody even though you have a jetpack and Mandalorian armor just sitting there.
And guns.
And I can guarantee you that Sith girl has no experience with jetpacks. Just shoot her.
Or any of them.
Throw some bombs at her. Do what you do against a Jedi normally.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my only...
She forgot how to be a Mandalorian.
My issue with it is...
She also forgot how to be a Jedi.
Well, she never knew.
Yeah.
My issue with it is a lot of it was so predictable.
Well, yeah,
we knew she was gonna leave. We knew she was gonna go to her place. We knew that girl was gonna come rob her at her place. We knew that we knew from the moment she left there. You're like, well, okay, she's gonna go back to her place. She's gonna figure it out. She's gonna get robbed or killed or
attacked.
You know exactly what's gonna happen. Like, that's my only issue with it. It was so predictable.
Well, my other issue is that they didn't give Ahsoka's character any emotions.
Yeah, she's like the Vin Diesel of the.
And I'm like, and I know for sure that Rosario can do better than that.
Act. Rosario Dawson can act.
But they didn't let her. She's just like some like, what? She's like a Zen master who has no emotions. They go, what is she? What has she been like smoking the reefer too much? Is that what this
Space
is?
Reefer.
Space Reefer.
She slightly feels bad about abandoning.
And the other thing is, if this is such an important, if she's feeling so hard about this, about Thrawn, she should be like right behind her. She'd be like,
right.
I'm standing here watching you do this.
Right.
He goes, I need to be alone. Well, too bad. You gonna stop me?
Or hey, walk. Hey, that thing's too important. It has to stay with me. Walk out and she's gone and go, oh, okay, bitch. And then go find her.
They should have instantly looked for her.
Well, they knew where she was.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then go. I would be like, I told you, it's too important to be.
And then I would have threw her off a building with the Force and then catch her right before she hit the ground.
Right.
And the other problem I had with it was, obviously, Sabine Wren's character was like, she's supposed to be at this ceremony or whatever, and they're just like, oh, we'll just let her go because she did a cool power slide under the one. I'm like, really? Only two vehicles?
Right.
If she's the head of security, she's supposed to be there. What they should have did is go, you're fired. Get out.
Yeah,
You are not responsible. Why are you head of security? I don't get it.
So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and here's
absolutely.
They're acting like, oh, it's no big deal. We're head of a planetary government, and our head of security is just going off by herself all the time.
Just said, fuck you guys.
I hate the chick who plays Sabine. I hate the character Sabine right now.
Hate is a little strong, man.
Okay, she's
mediocre. I get it.
At best.
I know.
Her face is annoying because everything she does is always trying to make us squint. Like, you go watch this.
Are you sure you're just not being racist?
No, I'm not.
Saying she's got slant eyes. You have round eyes. She has slant eyes. Is that what you're trying to say right now?
I love that you guys are trying to turn it into that. No. It's just most of the show she doesn't do anything except for make like a face.
No. I think the face.
She's like
she's always.
They're making Rosario Dawson the Vin Diesel of it. They're making her. What the fuck? I just had.
Well, no, I don't really. She just comes off as being sarcastic all the time for no reason. She's too flippant, especially for someone who's supposed to be responsible for stuff. And since she's gone through all this other stuff in wartime,
they're making her the Robert Pattinson. She's like the depressed emu version.
It's not that. Look, the character, like I said, the character from the Rebels and other properties was a lot more serious. She was jokey,
right?
But she kind of like how I described Green Lantern. Like he jokes in like certain situations, but once he gets serious. But she has no serious vibes at all.
Yeah.
It's all about, I have like light Asperger's and need to be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, to me, it's like that's why I called her the Robert Pattinson because she's.
Are you talking about the emo stuff?
The emu. She's like depressed.
Emu.
Like, emo.
I love everything.
Whatever.
That's why I never really corrected you.
I don't
because I love it.
I don't care.
I can just see a really sad
I'm not
emu.
making fun
I
of you.
keep saying emu. I don't care.
I know, but
it's all his fault. Let's blame him.
I don't even care. I just keep.
I know you don't care, but I always love it because every time you say it, all I can see is like an actual emu bird with like the sad droop over its.
Well, you gotta have like the combed over black hair on the emu. Yeah, I'm gonna keep saying
Listen to Cradle of Filth.
Cradle of Filth. So she's like depressed. You know, she goes back to her little apartment and watches the little hologram of
the guy from Rebels who left. He's an actual Jedi.
Right. So it's like we gotta play this depressed game. You know.
Well, my safe space. Remember, it was all in her safe space.
My problem is basically they didn't like. Kyle was discussing with me earlier. They're having trouble with live action stuff because they don't have the quality of scripts for the animated series are much better than the live action ones.
Right.
Because Sabine Wren is nothing like this in the cartoon version.
Right.
She's a lot more engaging. She is serious about things, but jokes around in pressure situations, all that stuff. But she doesn't just go off and do things. She does it because she thinks it will be effective, not because she needs to be alone.
Right.
You know, it's a huge security risk.
Yeah.
How are you, like I said, how are you a security director if you don't know what security is?
Right.
The other thing that bothers me.
How can you be the head of a security when you break all the security
protocols? And why is her apartment in the middle of nowhere?
Right.
And that is surrounded by wide open plains that can be destroyed by a tank from like how far away?
Yeah, she says that.
It's ridiculous.
Sensible living establishment.
It doesn't even have a force field around it.
The thing I really hate so far is they're really forcing her to be a Jedi thing.
I've noticed that this is your thing. The only thing I don't like is this. The only thing I don't like is this, and this. Yeah. The only thing I don't like is this, and this. Out of the 10, you gotta preface your statements with something else, man.
And like I have a lot of movie critics and stuff, and before I even watched them, I was like, man, they're gonna do some stupid shit where, you know, the robot told her, oh, if you were back in the Jedi's day, you'd never have been a Jedi because you suck with the Force. He's like, you barely have Force awareness. You would never have made it as Jedi, but don't stop trying. Like, I was like, all right, they're going to have some episode where all of a sudden...
She's like this...
She's the new Rey, where she's going to start whipping shit. First of all...
Rey's stupid, anyway.
Yeah, they're going to Mary Sue her way up there. And then when I thought that to myself, I was like, I'm going to talk to Greg and Dan about this today. Uh-huh. Literally, I watched 3 different critics on it. They all said the same thing. They're like, oh, here we go with the girl power. All of a sudden, she's going to be the best Jedi forever for no reason. Even though she didn't even start her Jedi training till way after she was too old to even start it.
Right.
But she's going to be the best for no other reason. And then she believes in herself.
That's what I mean. Like, it's so this goes right back to what?
Predictability. Like the guy in the mask.
Yeah.
You know who he is.
Well, if you know the other stuff.
Well, you know who he's going to be for the show.
Yeah.
It's going to be their missing friend that they thought was dead.
Yeah, right.
Who's a half-ass shitty Jedi himself.
Because his master was a half-ass shitty Jedi who had a drinking problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
From the Rebels series.
Yeah.
It's like
because his master was the alcoholic Jedi who slipped through the cracks somehow because he never used his lightsaber anymore.
It's like right from the beginning. It's very predictable.
Because I haven't even watched a lot of Rebels, and I know that.
Yeah. Right from the beginning. Very first, right when it starts, you know, the ship's coming, and they stop it, and they're like, "Who are you?" And, "Oh, we're Jedi." And he's like, "I know you're not Jedi.
You're both cloud.
Yeah,
pure
right.
black.
Yeah, he's like, "I know you're not Jedi." So, well, obviously we know they're not Jedis too, and they're gonna kill all of you. Like,
yeah. Number one. Did they actually call the Sith Jedi?
Like, canon-wise?
No, in the episodes.
Yeah, they said they were Jedi. When they went when they went in there, they said they were Jedi to try to trick them into...
Number one, I'd think... If this is the New Republic, everybody knows what a Jedi looks like. It's not some guy in black. Black, they don't wear black. There's one guy who wears black. His name is Luke Skywalker. That's it. Everybody else is evil.
Everybody else is evil.
Seriously.
Yeah, Luke is the only one.
He's the only good Jedi who wears black.
Yeah.
Everyone else wears white or brown. Or brown. Sometimes gray.
And sometimes halter tops if you're Twi'lek. You know, the ones with the head tails? And, you know, who always look like they're bikini models all the time. Yeah. Even if they're Jedi.
It was just it's just predictable.
Yeah, and
if you notice, there's no such thing as a fat female Twi'lek. They're always men.
Yeah, and they're fat. The men are always fat, no matter what.
Well, but the you know. Jabba's whatever his name wasn't that way.
I just wanted to hear it's a trap.
That's all. From the fish guy in the security.
I seen him. We seen him in the first few seconds of the show, and I was like, "Well, we know that."
You do realize it's not him.
We know. I know. Yeah. But I do realize that. Yes, absolutely. But I just still wanted to hear him yell, "It's a trap!"
Why would?
Because we all knew it was a trap.
So it was perfect. So one of the things I did not like is the combat. It's very.
Here we go again. One of the things I didn't like.
You're right.
I never said I liked this show.
No. What we're saying is that the one thing I don't like has been at least 3 or 4 different things already. So it can't be one thing.
It can't be the one thing.
It should be one of the things, not the one thing.
Okay.
Semantically, it's wrong.
The one thing I didn't like, subsection B, part C.
Yeah, emu.
Part C of the subsections of the one thing I didn't like, aka the show. So, one of the other things I've had issues with is the lightsaber combat. It was very clunky. It was very bad. The most we got out is Rosario Dawson's lightsaber scenes, and even then they were very slow and not very fluent. It was
Fluid. Fluent?
I'm gonna.
Fluent.
What are we speaking French now?
Yes,
We're
I'm about to
fluent.
spray it in the eyes with Febreze.
Now glasses on, I'll cover my head.
So, not very fluid.
You stick to your words, emu.
Say fluent.
Um,
It kind of works.
it does. It was just very. All her combat scenes were very one direction. It was. She never took multiple enemies on. It was always this guy. Boom, boom, boom.
What are you talking about? She took on.
Yeah, but
Or
their
robot,
attack patterns
five
were always
robots.
very. So they could work with her as an actress. It was always bam, 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 turn, bam, 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 instead of like in some of the older stuff, like especially episodes 1 through 3. We're gonna be 3 or 4 dudes. He's just like boop, 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 handling 3 or 4 dudes at the same time.
Well, maybe she didn't have to.
Yeah, maybe she's just not that great at that stuff. And they wanted to save on the budget, so they didn't teach her sword fighting. They just said swing these around a little bit. It's.
I
just,
highly doubt they teach any of them sword fighting.
On the original,
Maybe back in the original.
No,
but not-
one through 3.
Actually, the prequels, which were the ones with Hayden Christensen and
Oh yeah, the prequels. Yeah.
They practiced a lot on their own because
those two were the main one. They're the only ones who really did lightsaber combat.
But I doubt that they do it now. They pump these things out and.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, and I was talking about why everything's pushing towards animation because I know you have an issue like why are they pushing towards anime? Because it's cheaper. Because if you were a live action actor, it would cost more to not only have you in the right physical shape for the role, but
That's not on them. That's
because my
on you.
thing.
yes, but I'm saying to have you on there, it's gonna cost money.
Because
no matter what.
look, I don't really have a problem with the choreography of the lightsaber stuff. I have a problem with how they describe what her force powers are. Because in the regular universe, Ahsoka's way more powerful than that.
Right.
Because she's held her own against Vader,
Right.
and Vader just
Several times.
destroys people.
Right.
Like in the Obi-Wan show, he just like took over one of his apprentices and took her lightsaber with his mind and just stabbed her with
Yeah,
it.
and held a ship in place.
He didn't even
while
ha-
fighting her.
He didn't even have to try.
He actually ripped the ship apart.
Did he?
Yeah.
I know he ripped one of them apart, but
He
the
ri- we're talking about Obi-Wan, right?
when they were
Yeah,
escaping.
the ship goes to take off, he stops it and starts ripping it apart. And
Yeah.
as he's ripping it apart, the other ship takes off. Even though he probably could have just dropped the first ship and just been like, okay, it's that one.
Yeah.
So basically, Ahsoka can hold her own against that sort of stuff. Why is she having trouble with some schmuck in a robot?
Well, I kind of said that when
Schmuck in a robot.
when she's chasing the ship when it's taking off.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't she just?
Well, my thing, the way they should have did that particular scene in my mind would be that he attacks her and the robot. She takes out the robot right away.
Right.
Right away.
Because she was raised in wartime, so she's a lot better.
Right,
fighter
right.
than
So what
her.
I'm saying is she takes it out right away. The guy tries to attack her, figures out he's out of his league right away, and then runs. Right away.
Right.
Right?
Like,
and then
does
she's
things like
running
throw
after
stuff at her
him.
just
She
to keep
tries
her
to have the thing, but then there's another Sith on board, and they kind of cut her off, and then they run away.
Right.
That would make more sense. Just make the fight super fast and show that she's such a badass
Yeah. Right.
that they can't handle it.
Right.
And then later on, when she meets the master, then it's more of a fight.
Right.
Now,
But then they extended it for no reason.
yeah.
Because she's taken out those robots with the stabs like 100 times.
Right.
By the way,
It's ridiculous.
he is the world's most buffest ex-Jedi ever.
Who is?
The what is his name? Bane something. It's not Darth Bane, but the guy who's the
master.
master.
Ray Stevenson?
Yeah, Ray Stevenson's character.
He's not buff. He's just big.
No, I'm saying like all the other Jedis and all the other movies were always like
Skinny, tall,
scrawny guys. He's all jacked up, and then his armor makes his chest look huge. He looks buff as like he's.
Adam Driver got freaking pretty big for the third movie of that one. I never saw it, but I saw pictures.
Yeah. Balin Skull.
Is that his real name?
No, that's
the name of the character.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell?
Ray Stevenson's the
yeah.
kid.
He's dead now.
He's
so.
dead. He died. I forget what he died of,
But yeah, like when you see him in the first thing, he looked jacked. Like he was all stand up, like his chest piece is like the size of her entire body.
I don't know. Like I said,
I hope he's just a really relevant character.
So basically, they could have just kept.
Even though he's dead now.
They didn't have to make it the lightsaber scene super intricate in my mind because it's not that important to me. They
Right.
could have just made her more powerful force-wise.
right.
You know.
She hasn't even really. I haven't seen her really use the Force yet. She's just been.
That seems like a theme with them. Like
She's used the
certain-
force on stupid things,
Right.
like when she decided to throw the lightsabers down,
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
a circle
yeah.
with it in
Right,
her mind,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
catch them.
Yeah.
That's all she did.
That's the only time I've seen her use the Force. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Oh my god, yeah, that is the only
That's
time.
the only time she used the Force.
they just don't want to spend money on force stuff, and it doesn't even require a lot.
No, it requires some zip line and
Right.
magician's thread.
Right.
Yeah, because for the Mandalorian show at the end of the second season with the Luke stuff, they went all out
Right.
on that.
Yeah, they had to dump their budget.
But I'm like, that's one reason why I thought my idea would work because it shortens the fight,
Right.
it lowers the budget, and they don't have to do unnecessary training for Rosario, who's obviously not.
I mean, she is.
She's okay, but
50-something.
yeah, she's 50-something years old. It's not going to work that well. That's why a lot of people don't like her as the Ahsoka, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
She's a fine actress, but she's not a stunt person at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't have did the stunt person.
Oh, she's actually not as old as I thought she was.
What?
She's 44.
Hey, let her lazy ass can get some training.
She's only 9 years older than us, or me. She's 8 years older than you.
I know.
And she's 2 years younger than me. Well, gonna be 2 years. This year.
Yeah, old man Dan.
Well, thank you. At least I have a nickname now.
So, I don't know. I liked Skull's character. He just seems like he's not fully Sith. He's just
a dark side guy.
Yeah, just a dark side meandering Jedi. Like he doesn't believe in the Sith. He's just in it for himself at this point. And I really hope they flesh him out in a better character because his motif looks interesting. Just
well, to be honest, nobody has any character in this show right now.
That's true.
Everyone's kind of morose, at least a little bit stoic.
Right.
Like the Apprentice, she is this like kind of eager to please, even though he has no redeeming qualities so far.
And her, speaking of her, yeah, not only she has no redeeming qualities.
No, I'm talking about the Master. He just stands there, is gruff, tells her what to do, and she stands around all unsure of herself, with with an anxious look on her face, and then she does what he says.
And then she poses a lot.
They both pose a lot.
No, I'm talking about when she fought Sabine. She dabbed like twice. I'm like, why is she dabbing with a lightsaber?
Yeah, just.
Then she stabbed Sabine, and then
there's a lot of.
She clearly stabbed Sabine in the chest the first time.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
We went over that.
She clearly gets her in the chest, but when they show it healing, it's on her side.
No, like in her kidney. Like she got poked in the kidney.
I'm like, what the hell?
And then we actually when I first typed in about, because we were asking we were making fun of lightsabers being depowered and they're survivable. We're like, Qui-Gon Jinn got stabbed in the stomach and he instantly died.
Right.
And the first thing I looked up as soon as I typed in Qui-Gon Jinn was a picture of Sabine getting stabbed, and then a picture of Qui-Gon Jinn getting stabbed and going, this is bullshit. Because Qui-Gon Jinn, of all people, couldn't survive that, but this random chick could. 2 random chicks.
Obviously, they didn't get the people from the
Harrison Ford died in the chest.
Well, what I'm saying is they obviously
been thrown off a bridge.
They obviously didn't get the best of the best for sword choreography. Obviously not. Because if you're doing like poses and weird flips,
right?
Because if you watch the prequel fights, it's really tight.
And they do flips, but it's always flip, strike, strike, strike.
It's more like flip away instead of around.
Right.
So you're out of the range of the guy.
Not like up over or anything.
Right, or trying to
stay in range.
And the one time that did happen, he got his legs cut off.
High ground.
Right.
This isn't the high ground.
See, that proves my point right there.
I hate you.
High ground.
He goes, kill me. No, high ground.
This isn't the high ground way. You're gonna rob me? Yeah, well, you know, I have the high ground and I beat you, so yeah, high ground. High ground. You were supposed to stop the Sith, not join them. High ground.
I like the part. I like they make fun of it again at one point, and Yoda's sitting there and they're talking about Vader, and he looks at him and he's like, "You know, you could have prevented all this, right?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "All you had to do was finish him off,
kick him into the fire."
Yeah, he's like, you just had to
Yeah, that's the thing about that movie that really.
Yeah. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, that's not how it looks from up here on the high ground.
Because obviously the only thing they had to do to make that work would be to have part of the facility fall on him, and Obi-Wan couldn't reach him.
Yeah, right.
Right? That way, it wasn't Obi-Wan's fault that he got burnt to fuck.
Yeah, right.
Like, he cut him up, right? And then
to finish him off, and then something separate.
Yeah, guys.
Right, or something like that.
Right.
Instead of just going, you're supposed to, and then you're just going to let him burn? How merciful is that? Is that really the Jedi way, letting him burn to death? Like,
or something where he cuts off his arm, and then he's still trying to fight him, and then like either something explodes or a building falls on him.
No, the cutting his legs off when he jumps over him would work if he was winning, he cut his arm off.
Right.
Then he tries to jump over him to get his lightsaber back because it fell or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Then he cuts his legs off.
Right.
And then he's like, in the fire, and he's about to go and get him, and then
something happens.
Falls.
Right. Yeah.
Separates them.
Right.
And then he wouldn't have that weird yelling screen. You should have destroyed the
I hate you.
I hate you.
And then they could have had an after credit scene where he's under the rubble, and then the Emperor comes and he tells him, "I hate Obi-Wan," all this other stuff.
Yeah, and like he has to cut off his legs because they're all mangled up or something, or if they are cut off,
right, whatever you want.
Like there was so much more options. Like I said, he hits it with lightsaber explosion. They separate.
Well, it could have been
ways.
like the building falls on that he's too close to the volcano, then his legs get burned off basically, and then he has to get rid of them and get replacements and all that shit.
I just love it when you.
I know the high ground meme is great.
I just love it when I watch. I like the one where Yoda's like, you know, you could have just prevented all this, right? And he's like, what do you mean? It's not the Jedi way. And he was like, he was defeated. It was the Jedi way. He's like,
Obi-Wan knew that. That's why I have a problem with that ending. You know.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan knew enough from Qui-Gon that you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Get rid of evil guys. Just do it.
Yeah.
You cut Darth Maul in half, and somehow you can't finish this guy off.
Yeah, cut him in half and then threw him into a ditch.
You were like my brother.
Although it wasn't clear how Darth Maul's legs fell in the hole too. He didn't push him in; they just fell in.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just drop? And then, although that would be funny if he had to nudge him over the edge.
Kick him over.
You mean like you should have done with fucking
Luke just pushing the rest of the way in the fire? Just push him the rest of the way in. Be done with it.
Be kind of queasy about it. Ew.
He'd be like, I hate you. I hate you too.
We're just gonna take care of it.
I was just saying that to think of a way to, have the actual Star Wars trilogy.
To make it work out.
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
To make it better, more coherent.
Right. Because you have to have Vader, and he has to be Anakin, so he has to lose his legs and most of his one arm already, so figure out a way.
And he's got to have a burnt, crispy head, too.
Right. Yeah. So, there you go. Solved itself.
Yep.
There's a facility right there that could have fell right on top of him, but you didn't do that for some reason.
No. You wanted to make it some weird emotional yelling scene that doesn't make it.
Because they already had the emotional. They could have did that in the middle of the fight, have one of them jump on top of something, and then they talk for a little bit, and then they get back into it.
Yeah.
Because they already had the part where he almost choked out Padme, so.
Yeah, and he's like, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil, and.
He sounded like
a good back and forth. They could have went there like this. He's like,
my point of view. That was a weird line too. What is this? A freaking high school debate?
Also the really lame Anakin reasoning for stopping. Oh my God, Samuel Jackson's character.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take him in alive. It's the Jedi way. You just cut off a dude's head at the beginning of this movie who was defenseless. He's when
well, Samuel Jackson had a legitimate reason to do that because he was a Chancellor of the Republic, supposedly. Yeah. So if you can't just have the Jedi murder somebody who's that powerful because it would make him look like a rogue organization. Like, the guy at the beginning was just some mercenary.
Yeah, but Samuel Jackson knew. He's too powerful. He's got too many people wrapped around his fingers. We cannot let this dude live. It won't end well. And he's like, no, he knows how to save Padme. And I was like, at that point, Samuel Jackson should have gone through his head like, all right, I shouldn't maybe swing my sword at this guy now. I need to worry about this other guy. But he's like, nah, I'm just going to try cutting off his head.
With his grape-flavored lightsaber.
Yeah, and then he got all unlimited power.
He had, and plus Mace was obviously better than Anakin anyway.
Oh yeah,
but because he blocked the Emperor's lightning with his sword,
and then
hardly anybody can do that. So
Yoda Rey can. Mm.
Rey doesn't exist in my mind.
It's like the Matrix.
Look. I've read all of the books.
You have to remember, Greg, there is no spoon. Whoa.
No, I'm just saying that's like
it was a bad trilogy.
It was a bad trilogy. The first one was the same as the regular Star Wars, except with a woman, and
it was the member berry,
and who also had superpowers for no reason.
It was the member berry.
She didn't even get bitten by a radioactive force-powered spider.
Bitten by a radioactive Jedi. Just do some bad screaming. Bite on her neck. Let me just use one of the most.
They could. I thought it was the weirdest thing. I thought it was the weirdest thing that they didn't use the same director for each movie. I thought it was the weirdest thing that they wanted.
Well, they
went in three different damn directors, and they all have different views. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
No, they had J.J. Abrams, then they went to Rian Johnson, who's only good at certain kinds of movies, right? And then they went back to J.J. Abrams, and he really tried to fix it, but it was impossible.
Well, yeah, but like that's what the second one totally just fucking negates 3/4 of the first one.
Right.
And the third one tries to negate the second one.
Yeah, right. It's like...
But here's the thing. The original premise of the second one I was fine with is, number one was back to member berries. Yeah. No. The first one was member berries, like we talked about. Fine, cool. Second one was, it's not about who you are as, bloodlines. It was about anybody can wield the Force. And they were trying...
I mean, and that's fine.
That was fine.
You can do that in a different way, though. No, you don't have to negate the first movie to fucking prove that.
They didn't really negate the first movie because it just said Rey was super powerful and never explained it. They never said any... The second movie is where they kept trying to tie...
No, the first movie... Look, to be honest, the first movie was terrible, too. Because, like you said, they Mary Sue'd it.
It's the member berries.
Yeah, Mary Sue with member berries.
Well, I understand the member berries thing. I'm just pointing. What I'm always thinking about is what would make it work.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that would make it work would be, instead of having her just be by herself, have her like living with an older person, and he's like teaching her stuff,
right?
Like meditation techniques or whatever to get her through the day and all this other things.
Right.
And she doesn't understand what it's for until later, and then she figures out that she can do things.
Right. Yeah, like it was always the Jedi just trying to teach her.
And then she tries it, and it doesn't really work real good. But then in desperate circumstances, like the time when she was like tied up or whatever,
yeah,
she could like talk to somebody through her head because eventually she ended up being able to talk with the old guy,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah,
that would make sense because that was the scene that bothered me the most in the first movie. She knew the mind trick for no reason.
Yeah, one of the hardest Jedi abilities ever.
Only Obi-Wan knew that shit.
Right,
and he's like the most powerful Jedi in the universe.
And he could still be out, if somebody had strong enough will, couldn't be Jedi mind trick. So she could just do it immediately.
And I understand and they established that the stormtroopers didn't suck at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
So they weren't a bunch of addle-pated assholes like they were in the first Star Wars, where they couldn't hit a broadside of a fucking barn.
Right.
I was shooting right down the middle of a freaking prison hallway and couldn't hit anybody.
No one.
Because
right down it. It's like 3 people in a hallway this wide. I couldn't hit anybody.
the second movie is the one that was really focused on why is Rey powerful? Is she linked to somebody? And then it went, no, you're just another person that has the Force. Stop thinking you're part of somebody else.
And then they tried to make it a weird inspirational thing about her legally changing her name in a psychic registry.
Identity theft in the third one.
Because he goes, I need to take the Skywalker name because we, emasculated Luke Skywalker, so somebody has to have the name now.
Right.
All he does is mope around and drink blue milk. Right from the teat.
But I will say I enjoyed
the second one because it's really bad.
Is the second one where they had Yoda come back? Where Yoda shows up?
Yeah, it's the lightning.
Yeah.
Yoda, the god of light, god of thunder.
God of thunder. When he summons thunder and blows up a temple. I love it.
Yoda, god of thunder.
And they used Muppet Yoda. That's what I liked. I was like, yes. They didn't use 3D, episodes 1, 2, and 3 Yoda. They used Muppet.
The thing about, Jesus Christ. They always have fan service in the dumbest ways. They go, let's do Muppet Yoda. Being Thor. Why would anybody want that? He never did that.
Listen.
He just stood around with a stick, hit people in the head, and lifted
Nobody truly knows what they want until they have it.
That may be true when it comes to Apple. Apple enthusiasts, they don't know what they want because they like Apple.
You don't know what you got until it's gone.
Yeah, I was personally happy with the Yoda Thor scene because that was the best scene in that movie.
That's not saying much.
I never watched the third one.
You don't need to. Trust
me.
It's like over emotional, weird, semi-incestuous bullshit.
Yeah, and then
with Adam Driver, because they may or may not be related. Who knows?
And then,
I thought isn't she Palpatine's granddaughter?
Yeah, but they didn't say that till like 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Okay.
And they have a psychic link for no reason, and they have a lot of really bad sword lightsaber scenes.
Yeah, and then not only
really
the psychic link, but apparently it bends physics to its will. Where if me and you were psychically linked, you could take this Febreze from my hand, and then it'll all of a sudden show up in your hand for no reason. Because they were so psychically linked across the universe. All of a sudden he had something, and all of a sudden she had it in her hands.
Oh my god!
And we're like, what? It's like... And then it was bad. It was a bad time.
I'm just reading.
And then I did win my bet with somebody about them bringing back Harrison Ford as a Force ghost.
I think we were all pretty sure that was going to happen.
Somebody's like, no, they won't do that. He's not a Jedi. I was like, they're going to bring him back as a Force ghost. They won't say he's a Force ghost, but all of a sudden he's going to show up and give Adam Driver's character advice. Sage-like advice. And sure enough, near the third of the movie, he's like, Ben, you're still alive, but I'm dying. He goes, no, Kylo Ren's dead.
That's why That's why I always loved how it should have ended for The Force Awakens. Because at the end of that one, when Harrison Ford's about to get killed, they're like, he's like, I'm sorry, Father. And then he goes, surprise! And Luke's like right there and stabs him right in the back. And then he goes, what do you think? What do you think? I always know when my friends are in trouble. What are buddies for?
Yeah, right.
You killed my son. He was going to
kill you. That's true. What they should, the thing of The Force Awakens, they should have had a daughter too. I don't know why they didn't.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, why did they have only one kid? It doesn't make any sense.
Right?
She was really young still. Or at least mid-20s maybe.
Well, in that universe, yeah.
So, have 2 kids. Whatever.
See, and then when one eventually gets stabbed by Luke, you have a backup.
Well, or you can have one evil, one good. Whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of ways you could... There's like a million ways you could have made that good.
See, that would have been a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Luke should kill him. I'm saying that Luke should have been doing stuff.
That would have been a good way to do it, though. Let's make...
Keep it, weird.
Let's make what's-her-name his sister. and they had to hide her from him because he went nuts or whatever, and so yeah, like.
And the other problem with that movie, obviously, is in the second one when they showed Luke was just about to murder him literally for no reason, out of nowhere,
because he thought he might turn evil.
But then a lot of people on the internet are like, okay, let me get this straight. Luke, who turned a Lord of the Sith good again, couldn't have the will to stop a moody teen from rebelling.
Right.
He goes, he's not that evil compared to Vader. Not yet. He would have just let it work it out, Luke.
Yeah, right.
Luke wouldn't act like that.
Right.
No.
And besides, he's so powerful, he'd be just like, okay, stop moving. It's like sitting on a little kid who you're bullying.
Right.
He's not going to be able to do nothing.
Yeah,
right.
You give him pink bellies and teach him a lesson.
If he can
slightly burn him with a lightsaber.
Okay, Luke, who can hold up against Vader, who can pull down starships with his mind, can't deal with a teenager? Really? Makes no sense.
High ground.
Right. So plus, I was reading the description of member berries.
There's
only a reboot of the national anthem can save America, and by the man who saved Star Wars. Meanwhile, Randy is enraged by politics, and Cartman takes on sexist trolls.
Member berries. It's great. You never seen that episode?
I've seen part of it.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
like everybody's getting addicted to member berries. I remember that.
Brother and sister. Mm-hmm. There was actually, when they did all the like in-betweeny books and stuff.
Yeah.
There was a run where after everything happened, Luke was trying to rekindle the Jedi. During that time, he had Luke and Han had 2 kids, brother and sister. And what they were trying to do is there was this cult that was worshiping Vader. It's like Vader was supposed to be the true ruler of the universe, and Luke was supposed to be. So they found like some of Vader's body, and they were trying to reclone him.
They burned him. How do they find some of his body?
Because Palpatine does cloning shit all the time. Like, obviously, clones himself a bunch.
Right. Okay.
So they had like some of his DNA that they found like in old Empire stuff, and they were getting ready trying to clone Vader, but they were also trying to re-recruit Luke, and they were gonna
the guy that beat him.
Number one,
because in their original cult was because
the problem with this, Kyle. I understand where you're going here, but there is a book called Heir of the Empire, which is the best story after Star Wars ever, where it has Luke going to the Emperor and being dark side for some reason, then Leia has to come back and save him, which they could have used, but they didn't do it for no reason.
Yeah.
And then they could have just, because they're too old to do that.
Well, what's his explanation for going to the dark side?
Because he felt there was like a premonition where he's supposed to go there to save the universe or some shit. It's like a stupid, prophecy thing.
Yeah.
And it's basically Luke being a young, stupid Jedi. And then, his sister has to save him because she's the only one who can do it.
He like gets sucked in after.
They have their mental connection.
Because he had too many tragedies in his life and people kept dying, so he went kind of a little crazy for a while.
Yeah.
So
that would have been a good story.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that it only works when he's younger. So what they should have did was have that.
They CGI'd his ass in fucking Mandalorian.
Apparently they didn't think of that. Look, to be honest, Filoni and Favreau, the only showrunners that are any good in Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
Everybody else is terrible. And I don't like them. So, whatever.
I don't know.
I know where you're going with Kyle. There's cloning. I get it. Oh my God.
But the book was actually pretty good because it, like at some point in the books, like when Luke was like, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. I defeated my father. He got jumped by a bunch of dudes and they eventually killed him. And then they took his body and they were going to clone his body and, mind wipe it. And...
How are you going to jump Luke Skywalker?
I know, it's a shitty fucking...
It's a shitty overall premise, but the concept is a lot more solid than the Rey storyline.
It's kind of like what he said. One of the most powerful Jedis, and you're like, he would probably just be able to go...
Yeah. You're not sneaking up on Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like...
Nobody. Jedi or otherwise. No one.
Yeah.
I could feel you from planets away. How are you going to stop me?
Right?
Now, granted, if you shoot him at him enough times, you might kill him. If you have, a Star Destroyer and shoot him from space, then maybe you have a chance.
And you're a droid that has no feelings.
Right. But
But what like the whole thing was like,
because that's why I mentioned Heir of the Empire, because that's the inspiration for all that clone shit.
Right.
Because the Emperor cloned himself, and he needed Luke to like be his apprentice because Vader was gone, and that's how he drew him in, thinking he can give him more training and all this other shit. There was a bunch of temptations involved. I forget the story precisely, but that was the gist of it. But that whole cloning thing was from that, and they fucked it up, as always. They always took the wrong thing, because there was like 30 books after the Star Wars trilogy, the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
and most of them were good.
The most of them were decent. And they had three, Luke and Leia had three, Han Solo and Leia had 3 kids
Oh, really?
in that one. Paired fraternal twins and another boy later on.
Yeah.
One of them turned evil. Obviously. One of them always does.
Obviously.
It's the,
It's just the way it goes.
it's the Skywalkers. What do you expect? But
They got that tainted bloodline.
it was similar to Luke's reason for joining up with the Emperor, because he thought he would save, one of the kids thought he was saving the universe by learning all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he thought he was saving it from a greater evil, but it wasn't. It was just,
Palpatine being a dick.
No, it wasn't Palpatine at that point. Palpatine was gone. With the kids, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a bunch of, they put a lot. That
would have been a more interesting storyline to me.
Then some chick who has no force training at all can use one of the best abilities.
Do they ever explain why she's alone on the planet?
No.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I don't remember.
They just talk about it. Pretty much.
Oh yeah, why?
Vader's son, who was raised in the Empire from day one, was like, "This is wrong. This is mean."
Whose son? Palpatine's son.
Yeah.
You said Vader.
Sorry. Palpatine's son was like, "This is wrong. I'm running away with this random chick that I knocked up." And then when they found out Palpatine was following him, they dumped Rey off on this planet.
Got it.
Because he felt the Force coming from her.
There
and
was so
he
many.
wanted to use her.
Now I'm thinking about everything else that's wrong with the first movie. How she can fly the Millennium Falcon without ever having flown a spaceship before.
Yep.
How that happened?
No, I thought she could. She refixed them and everything.
No, she knows how to fix it, but she knows how to fly the damn thing.
That's you could.
And it's an old ship too.
So I get that, but I'm just assuming at this point that they're they're like cars to us. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a different car, but they all drive the same.
Yeah, she's only driven freaking hover bikes before, but somehow a freaking I don't know, several kiloton freaking ship.
I don't necessarily remember the movie.
She was doing the spins through the empty ship and everything.
But she was fixing ships. And
she was good at fixing things and.
I don't mind the fixing.
But the problem is, it's like this. It's like taking a bicycle and saying it's the same thing as a car. You know what I mean?
I just don't. Like I said, I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind her fixing it. I just found the problem of her doing the flips like Han Solo through the empty Star Destroyer and all that.
Just also she can use really high advanced, force powers. She flew the Millennium Falcon like she's been flying it her whole life. She was doing dips and swirls and.
That's why I thought when it first came out that it would have been better if they just had her have training that she forgot or had amnesia or some shit like that, which would make more sense. Right. One of the initial theories was that she was being trained by Luke at some point,
and he had to hide her.
But then she hit her, and then he wiped her mind, right?
That would have been way
for
better.
a little bit.
That would have been a good storyline.
That for only the last couple years. That way,
the other ones that we were talking about was if they wanted to keep her powerful, just she has no control over the Force really because she's never trained.
Right.
And she just get pissed off and shit would crush, and she knew she just has to every time she got angry or emotional, something would happen.
Because that way you could still do that stupid ass granddaughter of Palpatine thing if you wanted, which that actually doesn't bother me that much if they explained it better. Yeah, if Luke was involved, and the reason why him and Adam Driver's character got into conflict, Kylo Ren's character got into conflict, is that Luke didn't want to train him stuff, but he trained her in things because she was a better student than him, and he got pissed, and that's why he went to the dark side or something like that. And then he had to wipe her mind because if she was out there, then Palpatine would try to find him again, or whatever his.
But after they said about it being Palpatine's granddaughter and they escaped the two random people, somebody who was raised in the Empire his whole life, all of a sudden for some reason went against everything he was raised and known.
So what? It happens all the time.
It does, but I was like, at that point, that seems like a way more interesting storyline than whatever's going on in the fuck with Rey.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because, it does happen, but it usually something big happens in there to change somebody's point of view when they're, especially if they're raised as royalty, as Palpatine kind of was. Because Palpatine would be raising him as the next emperor, as royalty.
Right.
So that has to be an interesting storyline on who is this random chick that he.
Well, I mean, not really. If he's got so many different clones of himself.
Yeah, but it's more like Rick, where he just keeps replacing the clone of himself as he dies. So when he dies, new clone, he's back to square one.
Well, there's a lot of different things, man.
He never has more than one clone activated at a time. He has a bunch of them.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Technically, if he did that, then his son would never take over as emperor.
Yeah, but at that point, why is Palpatine fucking a bunch of chicks knocking him up in the first place?
Because he's a horny bastard.
Yeah, right. Horny old wrinkled pearl.
Yeah, right. What the fuck you
But
mean?
you know what I mean?
That's a simple answer.
But that seems still like, you know what I mean? That seems like a more interesting storyline. Like you said, what's the purpose of him at this point? Why is he around? Why does he know anything about the Empire if Palpatine has no interest in giving up power, like you said?
Right.
That still brings a purpose to him. And what drove him to turn from the Empire? Because they said he turned from the Empire. So what drove him to turn from the Empire? Because they didn't say his mom drove him from the Empire. He said he turned from the Empire and then took his wife. So what happened there that, made him flip?
Who knows?
Exactly. And that's...
The world will never know, Kyle.
Yeah. The world will never know the more interesting storyline. Except some random fucking chick who gets all the best power.
Look, the primary problem, obviously, is Rey's overpowered for no reason. The story doesn't make much sense for that reason. If they have to explain how she got her powers,
yeah, right,
is the primary problem. I could forgive the other ridiculous things like Harrison Ford getting murdered by his own son, like Han Solo getting murdered by his own son, whatever, or that part with the space Tonfa.
Traitor,
come here.
Right.
I could forgive that if her explanation, she wasn't a Mary Sue. I don't need that.
Or Finn taking a lightsaber down the spine and then being okay in the next.
Right. You need lightsabers to be killers, kill people. If you can use a lightsaber to get through a ship's bulkhead,
steel door, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Well, that's why I always like the.
It's not gonna bounce off some random guy's spine.
That's why that is the strongest pleather coat ever.
That's why I always like Flash gets for the guy. He's standing there. And Obi-Wan's standing there, and Vader's like, "What are you doing?" He's like,
just drops it vertically.
Just takes his fucking.
Yep.
Just goes through
and then they make fun of it, Rick and Morty. You never drop a lightsaber vertically.
Yeah, right.
You never drop a.
I like the one where it's going through the starship, and they're all trying to grab it as it flies by.
Oh, how about that thing I sent you today with Gary Busey? The picture of Gary Busey holding the lightsaber upside down.
Oh, is that?
All right. I think we're calling that an episode at this point. We have bashed Star Wars. No.
And we bashed a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, but we did it from up here on the high ground.
High ground.
High ground.
See you later.
See ya.